Hi, everyone. I want to talk about a topic that is probably the number one topic in sales, and that is rejection. How do I handle rejection? Well, let me first start off by saying that a lot of times we think it's rejection, but it's really not rejection. It could be so many different things, but the problem is what happens in sales so often is that we just get into our heads and that if we like try to sell something or we try to make a call and it doesn't go the way that we think it's supposed to go, we just beat ourselves up. We like tell ourselves that we can't sell, that we're no good, whatever, right? Whatever those tapes are in your head that just tells you that you can't, you won't, you shouldn't, all of that stuff. Let's put away with all that, okay? Because the reality is mindset is such an important part of sales. And if you don't think that, that is something that we really need to completely shift, right? We need to make sure that you understand that rejection is going to be part of anything that you ever do or sell or whatever. It's just rejection is part of life in general, okay? So, how are you going to handle rejection instead? Well, first of all, you cannot take it personal. Remember, it's not about you a lot of times. Sometimes you may walk in and somebody's having a bad day. Maybe your first call and this is your first attempt at seeing somebody and you're thinking, well, they just don't want my business or whatever, or they're just not a nice person. So you can't rely on your first time with somebody to be the thing that determines your outcome for the future. So first of all, don't take it personal. Don't let it affect you. Just be like Teflon, right? Like let it just like bounce off of you. Okay. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to analyze the situation. What I mean by that is what could I have done better? What could I have tried next time? Because all you're doing is you're trying to think about like, okay, well, maybe that didn't land very well, but maybe if I tried this, it would land very well, right? So you just want to give yourself some opportunities to think about different ways that you can analyze the situation to maybe tweak your message or do whatever you need to do. Because remember, I always teach this is that relationships are before anything that you do. And maybe ask yourself the question, did you take the time to actually build a relationship with the person? Because if you didn't, if you just went for the gusto and you just tried to sell, well, then don't expect anything different, right? So make sure you do that. Next, I want you to stay positive. In everything that you do, your attitude reflects on everything. If you have a countenance that is looking frustrated or angry or whatever, even when you're in front of that customer, and sometimes they can be mean, right? That really shows off because if you can smile and you can breeze through it, like I had a doctor one time that was just the meanest person ever. And he literally tried to throw you under the bus. That was his whole game plan is he wanted to try to mess you up. He wanted to see if he could trip you up and fall. And he was nasty. Trust me. He was not a nice guy. And I used to just sit there and I'd laugh at him and he'd go, "What are you laughing at?" And I was like, "I'm laughing at you." And he's like, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "Well," I go, "because you're funny," right? That disengages people. So remember, do something that most people don't think you're going to do. Okay. Then I want you to do is to keep in touch and go back. I remember I was trying to sell something for years and I still kept going back. And literally one of the doctors told my managers is like, "I don't know why she keeps coming back. Every time she comes, we tell her no, but she keeps coming back with a smile on her face." Right. And that was like years later. But you know what? I built relationships with them. Even when I went to other companies, I stayed in contact with them. It didn't matter because what was important was that relationship and that they knew that it wasn't about me selling something to them that made them important, right? Because if you focus on the relationship, that relationship can carry you into whatever else that you do in the future. And they're going to remember that even though you told them no 500 times, she still came back. She still said hello. She still brought new information. She still shared her new stuff, but it didn't scare her away. Okay. And then finally, what I want you to do is I want you to focus on your next call, right? Focus on the next person that wants to do business with you. maybe somebody that's really like done a lot of business with you. Sometimes you just need to end your day with somebody that has been a really good person, right? Especially if you're having one of those days or it's a bad day and it just seems like nothing's ever going right. So do that, right? Go and focus on people that you know that have bought from you or have worked with you and you know that they're really positive. Just say, I'm having a bad day. A lot of times they like that, right? That you come to them and share with them that you're just really frustrated. So anyways, I hope these tips give you some energy and positivity around the word rejection. Don't think it's a bad thing. You just need to keep going, doing your thing. And I promise you, like I say, if you focus on those relationships, you will have everything else come to you. If you're not thinking about the sale, if you're not thinking about the money, if you're not thinking about the bonus, it will happen. So I hope you enjoyed this, and follow and share and invite your friends here to learn more about these strategies. Have a good day, everyone.